again, yeah. Oh, thank you, bro.
Okay. Yes,
Super.
it
Thank you,
starts.
bro. Okay. All right. So, any questions from last week? Okay. Does anybody
No
remember?
question from me, Prabhuji.
Does anybody remember what we talked about last week?
We talk about the qualities of the flute of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Exactly. So today, remember we started with talking about 64 qualities of Krishna. And then we said 50 of those qualities are with all living entities, including Lord Brahma. And next 5 are only in Lord Shiva. And then that's 55. Then 56 through 60 are only Lord Narayan. And the 61 through 64 only in Krishna. So none of his incarnations have these 4 qualities that we have been discussing for the last 4 weeks. So today we'll discuss the last of those 4, which is the beauty, exquisite beauty, or Rupa Madhurya. So who remembers the 4 qualities that we talked about? The 4 that only Krishna has.
Prabhuji, Rupa Madhurya, Venu Madhurya, Lila Madhurya, and Prema Madhurya.
That's very good, Prabhu. Thank you.
And Venu Madhurya.
Yeah, he said that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Rupa Madhurya. Who would like to read?
Prabhu, can you revise the chapter, please?
Revise the chapter? What do you mean?
I mean, can you remind the chapter number? 21?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sure. It's chapter 22.
22, yes.
Point 64.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're there.
Yes, Prabhu, I'm here.
Okay, great. So
I can read it actually.
please go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
64.
Yep.
Krishna's exquisite beauty.
Mm-hmm.
In the 3rd canto, 2nd chapter, verse 12 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Uddhava tells Vidura, my dear sir, Krishna's form was most wonderful when he appeared on this planet and exhibited the potency of his internal energy. His wonderfully attractive form was present during his pastimes on this planet, and by his internal potency, he exhibited his opulences, which are striking to everyone. His personal beauty was so great that there was no necessity for his wearing ornaments on his body. In fact, instead of the ornaments beautifying Krishna, Krishna's beauty enhanced the ornament.
Haribol. So yeah, that's the big thing. His beauty is so sweet. He's so unique that we often talk about people wearing beautiful jewelry or clothing or other ornaments, which basically enhances their charm. But Krishna, however, is the other way around. He's known as Bhushan Bhushanangam, which means he beautifies his ornaments. So the ornaments look more beautiful because he's wearing them, not that he looks more beautiful because he's wearing ornaments. So that way, Krishna is far more beautiful than anyone. Okay, yeah. Any questions or comments before reading the next paragraph? Okay, go ahead.
When we say, when we saw the deity's form in our temple, when we say, the Lord looked beautiful in this dress.
Yes.
So it's it's a wrong to say that.
Yeah, because we say it every time we see him. So different dresses, but we still say the same thing. Because any dress, he just looks so beautiful. Yeah, very true. Anybody else? Any comments?
So we should say the dress looks beautiful in this.
Well, no, it's not like that. It's You can say whatever you want. You can say the dress looks beautiful. You can say Krishna looks beautiful, because they both look beautiful. So it's not that one is wrong, one is right. But the point being made is that Krishna doesn't need jewelry or clothes or ornaments to look beautiful. It's very beautiful to start with, so much so that the ornaments, the jewelry, clothing, they start looking more beautiful than they would honor somebody else. So let's take a mundane example. Let's take a man's example. A man buys a T-shirt, and he's a nice physique, flat tummy. He wears it, looks very nice. Like some other film stars, they look very nice. Same T-shirt on another person who's got big belly, it looks terrible. Dress is the same, but what wearing is different. You can take same example for the females. Dresses or beautiful. They look so nice on actresses, models, and that's why the clothing companies and makeup companies, they pay so much money to these beautiful stars and models, because people see them and say, "Oh my God, I would look the same way." And then they wear it, they find no, it's not. So they spend thousands of dollars. They don't look anywhere near as good. So my point is that Krishna makes the dress look beautiful. He doesn't need a particular dress to look beautiful. Okay? Is that addressing your point, Usha?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, right.
Okay. Anybody else? Any point?
Thank you.
Sure. Anyone else? Okay. Usha, go ahead, read the next paragraph, please.
Regarding the attractiveness of Krishna's bodily beauty and the sound vibration of his flute, in the 10th canto, 29th chapter, verse 40 of Srimad Bhagavatam, the gopis address Krishna as follows. Although our attitude towards you resembles loving affairs with a paramour, we cannot but wonder at how no woman can maintain her chastity upon hearing the vibration from your flute. And not only women, but even strong-hearted men are subject to falling down from their position at the sound of your flute. In fact, we have seen that in Vrindavan, even the cows, deer, the birds, and the trees, everyone has been enchanted by the sweet vibration of your flute and fascinating beauty of your person.
Yeah. So they have combined two of his qualities, his playing the flute and his beauty. So actually, this reminded me of the 6 opulences of Krishna, which is he's the strongest, he's the wisest, or most knowledgeable, you can say. He is the most beautiful, he's most famous, and he is most renounced. So, most famous. So the point to be made is that if there's anybody in the world who has just one of those 6 opulences, he's either very famous, or he's very strong, he can lift 500 kilograms, and he can pull a bus with a rope tied to his waist, or whatever, or he's very intelligent or smart, knowledgeable. They become very attractive from having just one of those qualities. So imagine somebody having all 6 of those qualities, opulences, and that is Krishna, so how attractive he would be. Then on top of that, we add these 4 madhuryas. Not only is he so beautiful, when he plays the flute, it has amazing reaction, sometimes causing contradictory behavior. So, for example, we remember the story, the pastime of Govardhan Leela, when Lord Krishna was lifting the Govardhan hill for 7 days at the age of 7. And sometime after, a couple of hours or whatever, after he lifted the hill and was holding it on the little finger of his left hand, he took his flute out. And he was going to start playing, and Madhu Mangal jumped and stopped him. He said, Krishna, please do not play a flute. And Krishna was shocked. He says, why? What's the problem? He said, don't you know that when you play a flute, entities, not necessarily living entities, but all entities change their intrinsic behavior. What does that mean? What is the intrinsic behavior of a stone? It is to stay in one place, solid as anything, stay in one place. But when a stone hears Krishna's flute, it starts to flow like water. And the intrinsic nature of the water is to flow. When river Yamuna hears Krishna's flute, it stops flowing. As a result, you get columns of water. So staying in one place, the water keeps on rising, but rises like columns. Birds forget how to fly, but amazingly, they don't fall. They become stationary in one spot in the sky. So the point being made is entities, not necessarily living entities, they change their nature. So Madhumangal was saying, you play a flute, and one or both of the two things will happen. One is the Govardhan will be so mesmerized, he'll start dancing. He'll fall off your hand. The second is, it may actually start melting. And if the whole Govardhan melts above us, then we'll all drown in the Govardhan liquid. So the point is that contradictory behavior, contradictory to their intrinsic nature, behavior starts to happen. So here, in this 10th canto, 29th chapter, verse 40, Gopis are saying that nobody can maintain her chastity upon hearing the vibration from your flute. Now, we should be careful about chastity does not necessarily mean physical association. It also means in the mind. So, no woman can stop thinking of you as a paramour in her mind. They may not do anything. Of course, they will not do. This is not a mundane environment. But in their mind, they start thinking about you as their paramour, which is a contradictory behavior, not consistent with their intrinsic nature, which is to be very, very strictly faithful to their husbands. And they say that not even women, men who are supposed to be very strong-hearted, they fall down when they hear from their position, when they hear your flute. It talks about the cows and the calves. So they both become so stunned. So imagine a scenario that a calf is drinking the milk from the udders of his mother cow. And they both hear the flute vibrations from Lord Krishna. They both become stunned. So the calf has drank some milk from her mother, but has not swallowed it yet. So still in the mouth. And is stunned. So the milk in the mouth is not being swallowed, it's not going in, and of course not going out. So there is the calf with mouth holding the udders of the mother, milk in the mouth, not doing anything, not spitting it out, not swallowing it, not moving, just completely stunned. The deer, when he hears the flute, he also becomes stunned. Just stops moving. They don't know. They're going or coming, they're running, jumping, nothing, just stunned like a statue. So that's the effect of the flute and the fascinating beauty of Krishna's person. So basically, what all that means is that amongst all the expansions and incarnations. So by the way, what's the difference between expansion and incarnation? Just changing the topic a little bit. What is the difference between expansion and incarnation?
Well, expansion means he would expand a similar person several times. And
What do you mean?
incarnation,
What do you
like
mean?
he expanded in form of Gopas in the Brahma Viman Leela.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Expansion was the Gopas.
So let him finish first, please.
And incarnation means he would come in, he would appear in different forms.
Okay, Prabhu. So, okay, fine. I'll accept that, but there's more to it.
Okay.
Usha, you were saying?
Expansion, like Lord Brahma is, Balaram is the expansion of Krishna, whereas the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Prabhuji, expansion is Swamsha,
So is incarnation.
where he descends. He said he
That's
makes.
okay. So now you're talking. So incarnation means avatar. Avatar means somebody who descends to the material world.
Hmm.
So when his expansion descends to the material world, it's an avatar. So Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimhadev, Kurmadev, Matsya Avatar, they're all incarnation. But for example, Lord Narayan does not take incarnation. So he's an expansion. Lord Balaram is an expansion until he appears in Dwarka Leela. Dwapar Leela and Dwarka Leela with Krishna. Then he becomes incarnation. Same thing with Krishna. Krishna is himself, but he comes as his own incarnation, which is himself. Okay? So incarnation is one who descends to the material world. So in other words, every incarnation is expansion, but not every expansion is an incarnation. Does that make sense?
Can you repeat that again, please?
Sure. Every incarnation is an expansion, but not every expansion is an incarnation, because not every expansion descends to the material world.
So, Prabhu, Lord Vishnu would be an expansion, like Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu, Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu, and so on.
Well, so is Sridhar Vishnu coming to the material world?
No. I mean the three Vishnus that expanded from Lord Krishna,
Correct.
but they didn't really come as an incarnation.
So let's go one at a time. Mahavishnu was lying on the causal ocean. He's above the material world. So it's clearly an expansion. But Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, where is he entering?
Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu is the one that is in charge for creation of the material world, right?
No.
Our hearts,
I'm sorry, but
in the Garbho, in the navel. He enters our hearts.
no.
Okay.
What is the main function of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu?
Creation of the Vaikuntha planets, Prabhu.
I'm sorry?
Creation of the Vaikuntha planets.
No, that's Narayan.
Prabhuji, he enters in the universe, right?
Correct. He enters each and every universe. And from his sweat comes out the Garbha ocean. He lies on it. And then from his navel comes out a lotus flower, which represents the stem of which represents the 14 planetary systems. On top of the lotus flower, where Brahma is sitting. So he's very much.
He is an expansion, Prabhu.
But he's very much in the material world. He's descending to material world. Right?
So he's an incarnation, Prabhu.
Correct.
Sorry, I'm a little bit confused.
He's an incarnation, exactly. Right? And so is Vishnu, Sridhar Vishnu, is incarnation, entering the material world. And then all the other incarnations are his expansions. So Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimhadev, Lord Kurma, Lord Matsya, they're all his expansions, but they're also incarnations. Okay? All right. So let's move on. So anyway.
Prabhuji.
Huh.
Ek minute, Prabhu.
Well,
I use the word Swamsha Is that is wrong, right, Prabhu?
So Swansha basically means like we are Vibhinnansha. His Swansha means not plenary portion, which means same powers and potencies as Krishna himself. So all these incarnations like Lord Ram, Vishnu, all the Vishnu avatars, they're Swansh.
So that is not expansion.
That is
That is
expansion.
expand
Expansion, but
So-
also an incarnation. Like
expansion.
Lord
plus
Ram,
also-
for example. Lord Ram, his Swansh and an incarnation.
Okay.
Whereas we are Vibhinnansh.
Vibhinnamsha.
We are separated.
But different. Okay, and then what is Kala, Prabhu, then?
Kala is expansion of expansion. So for example, let's talk about Lord Ram. So let's go back to Krishna. Who's Krishna's expansion, immediate expansion?
Balram.
Balram. Who's Balram's immediate expansion?
Narayan.
Narayan.
Who's Narayan's immediate expansion?
You keep asking like this.
Quadruplet.
Quadruple expansion. From that Sankarshan, what's the immediate expansion?
Again
Second
quadruplet.
Second
Yeah.
Narayan.
Yeah.
And then from there, second quadruple expansion. From second quadruple, Mahasankarshan, second Sankarshan, expansion is Lord Narayan. Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu expansion is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Whose expansion is Shivadakshaya Vishnu. Whose expansion is all these incarnations. So they're all Kalas. Anything after Lord Balaram is all Kala. With the expansion of expansion.
Oh.
Ete chance Kala Punsam, Krishna to Bhagwan Swayam. That refers to everybody except Lord Balaram.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So the point, how we digressed was, the point I was trying to make was that amongst all the expansions and all the incarnations of Krishna, Krishna's beauty is supreme. No incarnation, no expression of Krishna is as beautiful as Krishna himself. His sweet beauty attracts everyone. Actually, even Krishna himself. So Krishna's beauty attracts Krishna himself because he wants to taste the bliss of his own beauty. So actually there's a book that Rupa Goswami wrote. It's called Lalita Madhav. And in that it says that one day Krishna was, just crawling around and he happened to see his reflection on a pillar which was made of jewels. So, those jewels were large enough that they acted like a mirror. So Krishna saw his reflection. And upon seeing that reflection, he was astonished. And he said, how amazing it is that I have never seen such a beautiful form. I have never seen anything so beautiful. And then he says, wait a minute. I'm old enough to understand it's my own form, but just like Radharani does, I'm trying to embrace this form, and I think if I do that, I'll enjoy infinite bliss. Just think about this. Krishna is looking at himself and thinking, what a pleasure, what a bliss it would be to embrace this form, my own form. And he said, now I kind of understand, not fully, but kind of understand how Radharani must feel while embracing me. Of course, Krishna lives in the absolute world. So in that context, what is the difference between Krishna's reflection and Krishna himself? Any idea?
No difference, Prabhuji.
No difference, absolutely no difference. So they're one and the same. So no wonder that Krishna is attracted to his own form, because they're not different. Similarly, there's no difference with Krishna's picture that we may have in our house or on our altar, or Krishna's deities. No difference. Or Krishna's name. That's the beautiful thing about the absolute world. where Krishna's name, Krishna's deity, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's paraphernalia. I think I said that already. No difference between them. That is the transcendental position of Krishna. Okay. So, the other thing is about his qualities, the 4 qualities we've talked about specifically. It is said that Lord Anantadev, Anantashesh, with his thousands of mouth, he's been describing his qualities since time immemorial. It's mentioned that he doesn't even get to the end of one quality, forget about all these other qualities, all this time. So therefore, it is said that the transcendental qualities of Krishna are like an ocean. Just to give a mundane example, I mean, they're way more than ocean, because I'm sure Lord Anantashesh can describe an ocean very quickly. But since time immemorial, he's been trying to describe the qualities of Krishna and not reached the end yet. So you and I may say, well, I don't know how long the ocean is, how wide the ocean is. But even Lord Anantashesh cannot get to the end of the ocean of the qualities of Krishna. Even Krishna made a statement once, is, I myself do not know the end of my qualities. That's how amazing it is. So, similarly, staying with the example of the ocean, we can understand the ocean's contents simply by tasting one drop of the water of the ocean. So similarly, by reading these descriptions of his qualities, we can understand a little bit how great the qualities of Krishna are, how great the position of Krishna is, and why won't it be? Both his qualities and his position are transcendental. So of course, we're beyond our understanding, because the word transcendental means something that's beyond the mundane understanding, beyond the mundane world. So it's no surprise that we find them so hard to get to the end of it, but we can understand it just a little bit, get a little taste of it, like a drop of water from the ocean. I think it's the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, where Krishna is saying, Lord Brahma is saying, of course it's in Bhagavatam, 14th chapter actually. Lord Brahma is saying, the inconceivable qualities, activities, and the beauty that my Lord you reveal simply by your presence on this planet cannot be calculated by any material measurement. In other words, there's no measurement designed, not foot, pound, and seconds, not meter, centimeter, kilometer, or anything like that, nor pounds or kilograms, hundreds of miles, whatever. There's no material measurement that has ever been designed that can calculate the extent of the inconceivable qualities, beauty, and pastimes of the Lord. We can.
It's immeasurable as the ocean.
I'm sorry?
Prabhuji, it's immeasurable as the ocean is not measured.
Right, but I mean, ocean can still be measured, but we cannot measure the length and breadth.
We can't see the end of the ocean. We can't see the end of the ocean.
When you fly from Toronto to India, you see the beginning of Atlantic Ocean, you see the end of Atlantic Ocean, right? So you can. We know it's approximately 5,000 miles, I mean. But you cannot do that with the beauty and qualities of Lord Krishna. We can't even imagine Krishna may be like this, Krishna may be like that. Can't even imagine. That's impossible. And it goes on further to say a day may come when material scientists, after many, many births, after many, many years, may be able to estimate the atomic constitution, means how many atoms are in the world, in the whole world. They may be able to do that, count them. They may be able to count the atoms that are in the sky. They may even find out the atoms in the whole universe, but still they cannot count the qualities, the transcendental qualities of Krishna that he has with him, which gives him and everybody else the transcendental bliss that we all simply talk about, but really have no appreciation, no understanding of what it means. In another place, it's described that once Krishna was standing in front of a mirror, and he said, "Wow, I look good." He said, "Actually, I'm stunning." It's Krishna talking to himself. But he says, but the sad part of it is that I cannot enjoy my own beauty in the way that Radharani does. And that was so serious for him that became one of the reasons. What bliss, what pleasure does Radharani feel from drinking the nectar of my beauty? That he took the form of Lord Chaitanya. He came in the mood of Radharani to enjoy the bliss that Radharani feels upon seeing Krishna's beauty. So he took Radharani's mood, and actually, let me point out something. When he was thinking like that, Radharani had a concern. Her concern was that he'll become mad, completely mad upon feeling the bliss that I feel upon seeing his beauty. That he'll start dancing, he'll start jumping up and down, he'll fall down many times, he'll get hurt. So she said, "My dear Krishna, I have to protect you. Therefore, I'm going to give you my complexion. My complexion would be your kavach, the security shield. So when you fall down by jumping high, you won't get hurt." And that's another reason why Lord Krishna took the color of Radharani. And try to feel that mood, that enjoyment, that bliss that she feels. So clearly, nobody is as beautiful as Krishna. None of his incarnations. Lord Ram was very beautiful. There's no question about it. But nothing compared to the beauty of Krishna. Usha, I see your hand up. Do you have a question or comment?
Yes, Prabhu. It was related to the Vigraha, that no Vigraha has no, it is not different than Krishna.
Right.
But whether it's our home deity or the temple, but the potency has a difference.
No. If the potency was different, you won't call it same.
So the temple deity has the same potency as my home deity?
Absolutely. Now, we do say that temple deity is predominating deity. What that means is that if you worship a deity in the temple, then all the deities in that whole city are worshipped automatically. That's what predominating deity means. But don't underestimate the potency of your own deity. As long as you're worshipping them nicely, the potency is there.
But I was told the potency is different.
No, how can it be?
The deities is not that potent than the...
No, not at all. What they're probably trying to tell you is that in the form of deity, Krishna is very lenient. But he's even more lenient in the form of a home deity. He's even more lenient than that in the form of a picture. And he's even more lenient than that in the form of the name. So lenient, yes, but potency is the same.
Really?
Hmm?
Wow. So I shouldn't take granted of my Laddu Gopal.
You should take what?
I should not take him for granted. Potency wise.
I'm not sure I understand what you might take for granted. What does that mean?
Like he's equally same potency. He has equivalent same potent than as the temple, as any temple deity.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hi,
is somebody-
Prabhu, can
Purna
I
Devi
ask you
Dasi?
one question?
Yeah, who's Purna Devi Dasi? I think she's making a comment.
Oh, that is my new name, Prabhu.
Nima Mataji.
Your new name? I didn't know that.
From yesterday, I got it. She
Oh,
hated
Hari
last.
Bol. Congratulations, Mataji.
Thank
So
you, thank you.
Nima Mataji just got initiated yesterday with Bhakti Marg Swami. And her new initiated name is Purna Mataji. Hari Bol.
Purna Chandra Devi Dasi.
Purna Chandra Devi Dasi. Hari Bol.
My real name was Purnima, so Purnima to Purna.
Hari Bol. Congratulations, Mataji. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Acha Prabhu, what we heard is that Usha Mataji saying right that somebody told us that the deities we at home we need to do a pran prasista or something like a puja.
Pratishtha.
Yeah. So do we when we bring deity from India? I brought mine. Do we have to go and do that thing?
No, that will make it like strict rules like the temple. That's what I'm saying. So you have benefit of both ways. They are more lenient than the temple deities, but same potency. You don't need to do Pran Pratishtha. As soon as you're worshipping them, Pran Pratishtha automatically happens. You don't do it formally.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sure. Okay, but don't take them for granted. You still have to serve them.
Okay. No, I must do it.
Leniency doesn't mean you stop serving them.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Sure. Anybody else on that point? Okay, let's keep going then. So, and as we know from Gopi Geet, that the gopis are singing Gopi Geet, and they're saying that when Krishna leaves in the morning to go to the forest, all day we talk about Krishna, Krishna's beauty, Krishna's pastimes, all the naughty things he does. They talk all day. And then they wait for the evening when he will return. And when he returns, he comes back dancing, and his face is covered with dust. This dust in his hair also, but the hair is covering his forehead and part of his face. And so they say, well, I hope he shakes his head and the hair gets moved. And then they say, well, he can move the hair whenever he wants, and that's fine. But what do I do? What do we do with the eyelids that Brahma has given us? And they're actually cursing Lord Brahma, how unintelligent you are to give us, first of all, only 2 eyes instead of hundreds of eyes to a peacock who can't even see. And you've given us only 2 eyes, when you could have given us 1,000,000 eyes so we could enjoy the beauty of Krishna. But not only that, not only you made the mistake of giving us only 2 eyes, but you put eyelids on them. So every time we blink, we cannot see him. So every time we blink, we cannot see Krishna. And don't you know, as Lord Chaitanya said in the mood of the gopis, Yugaitam nimishen chakshusha pravashayitam. He said, in your absence, even one moment feels like millennium. So gopis are feeling the same way. But for Brahma's unintelligent action of giving us the eyelids, we could be seeing Krishna all the time with no interruption. They say, well, people are okay with their 2 eyes because all they want to see the material world, or material things. But we want to see Krishna. We want to see only Krishna. You should have given us billions of eyes to see Krishna. Like, what's wrong with you, Brahma? Fine. Those people who want to see material things, you could have given them just 1 eye. but you gave them two. I mean, you could have taken one eye from everybody, every living entity in the universe and given those eyes to us because we want to see Krishna. But no, you had to give them all two eyes. They don't even want to see Krishna. And then when you gave us only two eyes, you put the eyelids on top of that, which interfere with our seeing Krishna. You're not able to see Krishna constantly because of your mistake. The materialists may deserve two eyes, but we deserve 2 billion eyes because we want to see Krishna. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, so it's not just the gopis, it's not just the gopas, but even the birds and the animals were totally stunned to see the beauty of Krishna. There's this short story about a deer and his wife were wandering in the forest. As soon as the she deer, saw Krishna, she was totally mesmerized and completely forgot about her husband. So husband was walking away, and she just stood there looking at Krishna, not realizing husband has gone away, gone past, and just completely taken by the beauty of Krishna. When Krishna would come back from the forest, the gopis would line up to see him. And we just talked about the comments. But even when Lord Krishna and Balaram, they went to Mathura with Akrura, and the citizens of Mathura heard that they're here, there's a wonderful description about how beautifully they decorated the city. But all the women, they were so eager to see Krishna, some of them were putting makeup on. They put only half the makeup. They ran to the terrace. Some put their upper garments in the lower body of the part of the body, and lower garments on the upper part of the body. Some didn't button properly. Some didn't comb their hair completely, only half combed, and they ran. Some had half makeup on and they ran. Only half the what do you call kajal? What's the word for kajal? What's the English word for kajal? The eye mascara, yeah. Some put only half eye mascara and they ran. Anyway, the point is that everybody was so taken by his beauty. And that's one of the reasons that even the Cupid, who's known as Madan in Sanskrit, is taken by the beauty of Krishna so much that Krishna is known as Madan Mohan, the enchanter of Cupid. So the point is that his beauty is amazing, and actually it comes in 4 forms. Can anybody make a wild guess what are the 4 forms of Krishna in which he shows his beauty? You start out with Krishna, not incarnations. Any wild guesses? Okay, so first is Gopavesh, Gopavesh Dhar, if you want to call it, which means he's appearing like a cowherd boy. So how does he dress up as a cowherd boy? Anybody? What is his dress like as a cowherd boy?
You need the kuti.
Okay.
They wear turban, generally what I've seen. Kind of patka. And dhoti.
Okay. I'm talking about Krishna, not other gopas. Krishna. So yes, whatever you said right, but you missed one very important.
More pankha.
More pankha, yes. You never see Krishna without more pankha. So that's his Gopavesh. Then you have Nitya Kishore. Well, what's a Nitya Kishore form?
16 years old, always.
Yes, eternally young. which is just under 16, 15 years, a few months. So that's why they known as Nitya Kishore Kishori, Radharani and Krishna. Third form is Natavar. What does Natavar mean?
Actor, dancer.
Dancer, yes. So he's always dancing. You know how it says in Brahma Samhita, describing Golok Vrindavan Dham, it says, Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanam. Every speech is like singing, and every walking is like dance. And finally, Venukar, which means he's got a flute in his hand all the time. So those are the 4 forms of Krishna in Vrindavan.
I saw
I missed the last one you said.
Venukar, so he's got flute in his hand. The Venu means flute. Okay. So, the conclusion after discussing these 4 qualities, or 64, but specifically these 4 qualities, is that Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's playing his flute, Krishna's beauty, Krishna's relationship, which is with the devotees, make him a supremely attractive personality. Thus, even among all the expansions of Godhead, he is the supreme stimulus for ecstatic love. So, for example, not to insult other incarnations, not to in any way be offensive to them, I think it's safe to say that when you see or think of Matsya avatar, the fish incarnation, or the Kurma avatar, the tortoise incarnation, or Varaha avatar, the boar incarnation, or Lord Nisargadev, half man, half a lion incarnation, is not easy to feel the ecstatic love, the kind that you do when you see Krishna. So therefore, these qualities, and especially these 4 qualities of Krishna, make him very dear to everyone, and one feels that ecstatic love, which is very unique between Krishna and his devotees. So any questions or comments? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, that's the end of the chapter. However, I want to spend next few minutes talking about some of Krishna's pastimes, especially, mainly we're talking about pastimes in Vrindavan, which means his pastimes in with Radharani. And we'll do 1, maybe 2, just to round up the 4 pastimes, 4 qualities, and then we will stop. We'll talk about, unless there are any questions, talk about where we're going from here, because this is the end of our sessions on Nectar of Devotion. Okay, so I'm going to talk about at least one of his pastimes with Radharani, and that happens when Radharani has been married to Krishna's expansion, Abhimanyu. She's known as shadow of Krishna. And that was done only to increase the pleasure of the loving interactions between Radha and Krishna, so that they can now be in the Parakiya Bhava as opposed to Swakiya Bhav. And the story, the pastime goes this way. One day, Radharani's husband had some business meeting with Nanda Maharaj. And Yashoda Maya found out that he's here. So she decided to send some gifts for Radharani. She loved Radharani like anything. So there she was in a big box, putting saris and jewelries and jewels and ornaments, all those kind of things in that. Krishna happened to walk by that room. He was with his friends. And he saw Mother Yashoda putting all these things in that box. So he said, Maya, Maya, what are you doing? And she said, Abhimanyu is here, meeting with your father. And so I'm going to send some gifts for Radharani. So I'm putting all these things in the box and I'll ask Abhimanyu to take it with him. So, Maya, that's great. Very good. Thank you. And then Mother Yashoda, there's a servant that's very close to Radharani, very close to Krishna, and very close to Mother Yashoda. Her name is Ghanishtha. So she told Ghanishtha that, okay, pack this properly and then lock the door. I lock the lid so that it's safe, and then give the key and the box to Abhimanyu when he comes. And she left. As soon as she left, Krishna spoke to Ghanishtha and he said, take everything out. And she said, why? Mother Yashoda has told me to put all these things in the box. And he said, do what I'm telling you. So she said, okay. So she took everything out. Now the box is empty. Krishna says, bring another box and put everything in that other box. And he enters the box himself and tells her to lock it. So now the box has nothing but Krishna inside. Everything else has been taken out. After some time, Abhimanyu comes. He offers his obeisances to Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda points to this box, saying, this is the gift for Radha, and please take it with you. So she says, sure, okay, no problem. So he lifts the box and he said, oh my God, it's very heavy. She must have put a lot of things. And he pushes it on his head and starts walking to home. So he's basically going from Vrindavan to, where did they live? Who knows?
Varthana?
No, after marriage.
After marriage.
Who's awake today?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Yavat. Some call it Javat, but Yavat, yes. So they walked, he's walking from Vrindavan to Yavat. And on his way, he's thinking, I cannot believe how much Mother Yashoda loves my wife Radha. Look at all the gifts she's given him, so heavy. And he's just talking to himself like that. He goes to home, takes the box down right outside the door of Radharani, Radharani's room, and says, Radha, Mother Yashoda sent some gifts for you, take it. And then he leaves. So Radha is in the room with her friends, and so very eagerly, she has them bring the box inside. The key is on the top of the lid. And they said, I think Lalita was there, and Radharani says to Lalita, open the box. So they all surround the box. Radharani is in the front. Lalita unlocks the lid, and she lifts the lid. As soon as she lifts the lid, Krishna jumps out, says, I am your gift. Now, everybody's shocked, and Radharani is embarrassed. My God, if somebody sees him in my room, what will they say? So she says, what are you doing here? Leave, please leave. And he said, no, I'm the gift from Mother Yashoda to you. You have to accept it. You cannot reject a gift from Mother Yashoda because that will be insult to her. So now you have to accept me as a gift. And she's blushing and feeling very embarrassed. And she's saying, no, you know that I cannot do that. Please leave before somebody sees it. I said, no, it's not that easy. So therefore, you have to do something for me. And she says, what? And he says, first of all, you have to order all these girls to leave the room, because otherwise I'm not leaving. So with great hesitation, she She tells the girls to leave. Now there's only Krishna and Radha in the room. And Krishna explains to Radharani why he did all those things that he did. That kind of placates Radharani a little bit. So then they have some singing and dancing, and then Krishna leaves. So just another pastime. Not just, but another pastime between Radha and Krishna. Okay, so I'm going to stop and see what are, if there are any questions. And I'm going to put the gallery view. And then we'll talk about what we're going to do next time. Any questions or comments?
Comments. I was visualizing it.
Ah,
I was
yes.
so scared. What if Radharani's husband had arrived?
Yep, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
so scared to see that.
But Krishna made great arrangements for that. I mean, there's so many pastimes when Abhimanyu and his sister and his mother try to interrupt the meeting of Krishna and Radha and Krishna. So many wonderful pastimes and how Krishna fooled them. Do you want to hear another one?
Or if you have time.
What? Yeah, we have time. I mean, it's okay. So one time, Krishna dressed up as Abhimanyu and went to Abhimanyu's mother, Jatila. And he said, Maya, talking in the voice of Abhimanyu, looking exactly like Abhimanyu, said, Maya, I just heard some boys were talking. And I heard that Krishna is going to dress up like me. He's going to come inside. So make sure that he's not allowed to come inside. And if he tries harder, you beat him up. Oh, she said, oh my God, really? Thank you. And I'm going to stand right at the door, at the gate of the house, and make sure he doesn't come in. Excuse me. So there she's standing with a broom in her hands. And poor Abhimanyu, just a little short while later, real Abhimanyu is coming. And as soon as she sees him from a distance, she starts shouting, don't even dare to come here. Don't even dare to come here. Just go back. And Abhimanyu is shocked. He doesn't know what's happened. So he says, Maya, what are you saying? What are you doing? What's the problem? She said, I know who you are. So don't even bother coming near me. Just leave. Turn around. Leave now. So he keeps coming. He said, Maya, what's the problem? I'm your son, Abhimanyu. And now he's very close to her. He says, Maya, look at me. I'm your son, Abhimanyu. And she says, yeah, sure. She starts beat him up with a broom so badly that he actually has to run away, saying, I don't know what's wrong with my mother. So again, Krishna will play those kind of pastimes. There's so many of them like that. Anyway, so that's one more. Okay. So I think we will start after Rath Yatra because there's a lot of activities going on, including Rath Yatra. As you know, Rath Yatra is on the 15th and the 16th of July. So I thought rather than start for 1 week and then 2-week interruption and start again, it might be a good idea just wait until 20, what's the date? 20th, July 20th to restart the Chaitanya Charitamrita. For those of you who have sent me their names to express your interest in joining those classes, I've got them in one group. And I don't have anybody who's not sent me a note. So if you want to join, you don't have to, but if you want to join, and please make sure that you send me an email expressing your interest so I can add you there. What we will do is we will start with Madhya Leela, chapter 19 through 25, which are Lord Chaitanya's teachings to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So first 2 chapters to Rupa Goswami and the next 3 chapters, 4 chapters to Sanatana Goswami. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to be very honest with you. I have never taught Chaitanya Charitamrita before. So this will be my first time actually teaching. I've read it multiple times, but I have not actually held sessions teaching this. So the Adi Leela, especially the first 4 chapters, maybe 7 chapters, are very difficult. So this is an opportunity to warm up for me to kind of get used to, because this is a whole different style to teaching Chaitanya Charitamrita. To get used to the new style, make sure I feel comfortable. And to be honest with you, give you an opportunity to run away. If you feel after the first 6 chapters that I don't know what I'm doing, or you're not getting the nectar you were hoping, then you can decide not to continue. No harm done.
Excuse me.
हाँ माता जी,
आपने मेरे ईमेल मिले थे ना?
हाँ जी, आपकी मिल गई। हाँ,
अच्छा, तो क्या बिगिन से शुरू से करना है, शुरू से स्टार्ट करने हैं?
बाद में शुरुआत करेंगे मध्य लीला चैप्टर 19 से।
मध्य लीला चैप्टर 19 से।
हाँ, but after we've done 6 chapters, then we'll go back to Adi Leela chapter 1.
अच्छा,
As I'm saying, the reason is I want to make sure I can do at least adequate job, and that you have the choice after the first chapter. Said no, I'm not getting what I thought I would get. This guy doesn't know what he's doing, and that's fine. So no offense taken, and you have the opportunity to leave without leaving in the middle. And so the timing should be the same. Thursdays 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Toronto time, which translates to 5 to 6:30 Vancouver time.
But Prabhu, Nectar of Devotion hasn't finished yet.
No. We were supposed to do only 19 chapters. We did 3 extra chapters just to talk about Lord Krishna. If you take Bhakti Shastri course, they only do the first 19 chapters. The other chapters are very esoteric, and perhaps beyond our ability to explain. So that's why most people don't do additional chapters. So we are finishing the Nectar of Devotion classes tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on that? Okay, so to repeat, we're going to start July 20. We'll start with chapter 19 of Madhya Leela. Now, there will be little requirement of you, which is it's expected that you would actually read the chapter we're going to cover in the classes, because if you don't, you'll not get the benefit. Chaitanya Charitamrita, as you know, is very heavy. Srila Prabhupada used to say, Bhagavad Gita is like studying in high school. Srimad Bhagavatam is like doing undergraduate. Chaitanya Charitamrita is like doing postgraduate. So it is hard. It is heavy. It's a lot of philosophy. So if you're going to join, be prepared for some heavy sessions. And once again, I mean, I just keep saying that, you decide whether, I'm able to do an adequate job of explaining, because I may not be doing that. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Hmm.
I'm going to India for a month from July 25th to August 22nd. If for some reason I'm not able to join the classes, don't kick me out, Prabhu. When I come back, I'll definitely
No,
join.
we won't. We won't do
It's not
that.
that I'm not interested. I probably because of my travel or time zone differences, I might have to skip. I'll try my best to join, but if there's no show from me, please don't think that I'm not interested.
No.
I'll
No
definitely
problem.
come back.
Thank you. No problem.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Have a good trip.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Anybody else, any comments?
Prabhu, so I'm looking on Veda base and I see there's 3 books for Chaitanya Charitamrit. It's Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, and Antya Lila. So
Correct.
which one are we doing?
The Madhya Lila.
Madhya Lila?
Madhya Lila, chapter 19.
Chapter 19. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sure. Sure. The other thing is, does everyone have the book, Chaitanya Charitamrita? Anybody who doesn't have book, you'll have difficulty. So please let me know if you need to acquire a set. I can make arrangements with the temple in Toronto or the temple in Vancouver, depending upon where you are, to get you a set. And I think the price is $150, if I'm not mistaken. But there's no way you can understand what's going on if you don't have your own book. So that's absolute must. Okay. Can I have a show of hands of people who do not have and would want one? Okay, so everybody has it because nobody's raising their hand.
Prabhu, I don't have it.
Prabhuji, I don't have it, Prabhu, but will Veda base work or no?
If you are used to doing online, yes, it will work.
Yeah.
A
Even
lot of
I
people
don't
are not.
have it. Yeah.
Hmm?
We don't have it as
So do you want it or you are comfortable doing online?
online.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you're comfortable, that's fine. But you cannot have, not comfortable with online and don't have the book. That would be a problem. Anybody else? Okay, all right, so it's going to be a short session today. And once again,
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, I'm on behalf of everyone. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, taking us through Nectar of Devotion. And with this backup knowledge, I think we'll understand Chaitanya Charitamrita when we go. So this is a wonderful foundation, Prabhuji, you laid to understand who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. Prabhu is much clearly. So thank you very much. Whatever you Prabhuji, you explained to us, it was difficult sometimes, but but you it was appreciable. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And once again, if you have not informed me that of your interest to join, please make sure you do, because otherwise you might miss a session or two. And
Prabhuji, I sent an email early.
yes, I have.
Much.
Yes,
yeah,
Prabhuji,
thank you. Yeah.
We will be joining that program, Prabhuji, and I really appreciate what we have learned from you in Nectar of Devotion, your hard work. There are no words to appreciate, actually, what we have got from you, Prabhuji. Very, very deep knowledge and very, very, really, I have no words to explain how we really enjoyed that, Prabhuji, Nectar of Devotion. Not only Nectar of Devotion, but you are also doing so much hard work to teach us or give us the knowledge about Bhagavatam, Prabhuji. We will definitely join that class, Prabhuji.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
And we have that Madhya Leela, and we have all the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhuji.
Great. That's great. That will be very helpful.
Prabhuji, did you have you ever heard the bhajan Yadi Gaur na hoy to
Yes.
tabe ki hoy?" I have to say Yadi Rupanuga Prabhu na
No,
hoy
no,
to
no, no, please don't.
kaise
Don't.
hoega hamara?
No, 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 no. I don't want to do
So
that.
because of you, we have learned. I don't know. I mean, I have not learned everything, but at least whatever we know it's because of your efforts, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Oh, Prabhu, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, all right. So thank you very much. And
Thank you, Prabhuji, so much for giving us such a good knowledge about Nectar of Devotion.
Thank you,
And
Prabhu.
with the hard work, we learned a lot.
My pleasure, my privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we'll see you all on July 20.
Yes, Prabhuji, of course, we will try to be there.
That's great. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kapasandubhya evacha
patitanam
Dhanam
pavanam.
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Sorry, Gautam, were you trying to say something? I saw you go mute and unmute.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Prabhuji. We really appreciate, all the knowledge we got from, and me and my son and my mom both, we listened to
Hari
you.
Bol Mataji. Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Next class is when, Prabhuji?
July 20th.
July 20, Mataji.
Okay.
So I look forward to seeing you there as well.
Good. She'll be there.
Yeah,
We will be.
it was such a pleasure meeting you the other day at ISKCON Burlington. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji, again.
Thank you. Thank you, Gautam.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Pitashri, for everything.
Nandi
Really,
Mukhi,
it's
thank
very,
you.
very appreciate. Thank you so much.
Hari Bol.
Oh, we don't have any words for you, Pitashri, really.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, may Radha Madan
Thank you,
Mohan
Prabhuji.
God
Thank you so
bless
much,
you
Prabhu.
always.
Jai. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Oh,
And sorry, and sorry, we are not. So some of us are not able to turn the video on sometimes, but we are always here, listening to you, appreciating you. Thank you so very much.
No worries. Thank you so much.
And Prabhuji, I'll make sure to send an email, but nowadays I forget a lot of things. So I am in for the Chaitanya Charitamrita for asking,
Okay.
please.
Okay, sure. No
Thank,
problem. Yeah, verbal is
thank you,
good.
Prabhuji.
You're welcome.
Hari
Thank
Bol, Prabhu, will we be reading in the Bengali script as well?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Although the English version is there, so you can read from English, but it's Bengali.
So we will be reading the verses in Bengali.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, that's good.
Because that's half the pleasure of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yes, for sure.
And I have to learn how to do this because it's a different meter and I have to practice that.
Oh, that's the one I'm so interested, Prabhu, because Bengali doesn't come to me at all.
Oh, Bengali
So,
is Bengali is so similar to Tamil. I mean, come on.
oh, please. So I'm so eagerly awaiting to learn that raga from you.
Well, I'll have to learn first. So yeah, I'm going to spend the next 2-3 weeks learning that.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful, beautiful meter. Beautiful meter.
Well, it is. Yeah, no question about it. No question about it.
I love that meter.